Hi everyone! Today I'm sharing my recipe for the prettiest sage blossom vinegar. This unique vinegar has a beautiful, vibrant pink color and is amazingly flavorful with woodsy and floral notes. For my recipe, I'm starting by harvesting a large handful of sage blossoms from my potted culinary sage plant. I've had this plant for over 3 years now, and I've harvested sage to use in so many different recipes, including for my turkey at Thanksgiving, in yummy soups and stews, and for homemade tea. For today's recipe, I'm only using the beautiful purple sage blossoms on this plant, not the typical sage leaves. So to start, I'm gently removing all of the blossoms from the stems and adding them to a bowl. I found it's easier and more effective to rinse the blossoms directly instead of washing the full stems and leaves. Sometimes you'll find little surprises in the blossoms like ants or dirt, so you really want to make sure they are thoroughly cleaned. Once all of the blossoms are removed, I'm going to add some water and gently soak and hand wash the blossoms. After my blossoms are clean, I'm transferring them to a paper towel to air dry for a bit. When the blossoms are all dry, I'm going to warm up some white wine vinegar on the stove. You can use regular white vinegar too if you prefer. You just want the vinegar to be warm for the sage blossom infusion process, but not too hot where it can scald the blossoms. While my vinegar slowly warms up, I'm adding the blossoms to a small half-pint glass jar, and based on the number of blossoms I had, this jar ended up being about a third of the way full when all of the blossoms had been added. The next step is to pour the warm vinegar on top of the blossoms in the jar until all of the blossoms are covered and the jar is almost full. I like to then give the blossoms a little stir before sealing my jar and giving it a few gentle shakes to help with the infusion process. Now I just put the jar in a cool, dark place for 1 week, and I let the blossoms and the vinegar really blend together. After 1 week, our sage blossom vinegar is ready, and as you can see, it has truly transformed into a vibrant and stunning bright pink color. Now, this is all natural, no dyes or other additives have been added to our containers, so I'm very impressed with this color. It kind of looks like some fancy, fruity, and refreshing drink to me, but obviously you don't want to drink this straight up. Right here in Orange County, California, it's springtime, and during springtime I love to transition my lunches from the soups and stews that I made during the winter to lighter recipes like salads and smoothies. Today for lunch, I decided to make a strawberry salad. And what better way to incorporate my sage blossom vinegar than by making a delicious salad dressing? For this dressing recipe, first I'm filtering out the sage blossoms from the glass jar now that their flavor has been completely incorporated into the vinegar. Next, I'm adding about 1/4 teaspoon of pink Himalayan sea salt, followed by 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, and then 1 tablespoon of this delicious local honey that I picked up at our farmer's market. I like this dressing to have a hint of sweetness from the honey to balance out the savory and woodsy sage flavor. Now I'm adding 2 tablespoons of this beautiful sage blossom vinegar. And my last ingredient is to add a half a cup of extra virgin olive oil. Just as an FYI, this dressing portion size is for about 4 medium-sized salads, so you can adjust the recipe accordingly if you decide to make it for more or less people. I'm whisking all of the dressing ingredients together until everything is fully combined. For my salad, I'm starting by adding some fresh mixed greens, then some delicious ripe strawberries, and I'm going to sprinkle in some walnuts and feta cheese as well. My final touch is to drizzle on a couple spoonfuls of the dressing I just made. All right, that looks good. So now all that's left is to give this a taste and see how it is. All right, this is so good. I could eat this all the time, and I will definitely be making this recipe again. By the way, as a final note, you can store your sage blossom vinegar in a cool, dark cupboard or in the fridge, and it should last up to 6 months. Enjoy, and I'll see you in the next video.